Oh, we're under attack. They hit the engines. I need to go repair them.
I already did it. We're good.
Oh, okay. Well, cover me while I get to the console. I need to
I've also already done that.
Oh, well.
Girl's hurt. I need to get to the medical bay to help.
Nope. You're good. I already did.
Yeah, I'm fine, dude. Don't worry about it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to GameGorgon. My name is Krug.
I'm Indigo.
Today we're here to talk to you about the space rogue Starfinder Operative. He goes sneaky, sneaky, peeky, peeky, boop.
All I kept thinking is the tiki room when you were singing.
In the tiki room.
In the tiki room.
The first operative ability is you get plus 10 damage in the tiki room.
Nope. With the operative, we're going to start right at the top. You're going to get 6 health points, and then you're going to get 6 plus your constitution for stamina.
Your key ability is obviously going to be dexterity. The secondary is something like int or charisma. I think charisma's good.
Int would also be very beneficial because you're going to be getting 8 plus your intelligence modifier for skill points. Huge.
Yeah. You're going to be proficient with light armor, basic melee weapons, small arms, and sniper rifles.
At first level, you're going to get Operative's Edge, where you're going to get a +1 insight bonus to initiative and skill checks. 1 point in every skill that you're going to have. That 1 is going to increase by an additional 1 point at 3rd level, and then every 4 levels thereafter. I can do everything.
It's like, anything you can do, I can probably do better, and if I can't do it better, I can only do it slightly worse than you. I can do anything, all that stuff again.
You're the skill monkey.
Yeah.
This is, you're doing everything.
Yeah. At first level, you're gonna also pick your specialization. We're gonna go over a bunch of the things that the specialization gives you at various levels, and then we're gonna give you some examples of a couple of specializations that you can choose from. When you pick your specialization at first level, you gain the skill-focused feat in the skills that are associated with your specialization, and then you also get an additional rank in each of those skills for free, which is really cool.
Skill monkey. At level 5, you're going to get Specialization Exploit, which is basically an additional ability that you're going to have associated with the specialization you chose, and you don't have to meet the prerequisites for it, you just are going to gain this ability.
This will make a little bit more sense when we talk about exploit specifically, because this isn't just a specialization feature.
Correct.
At 7th level, you get Specialization Skill Mastery, which allows you to take a 10 in situations where you normally wouldn't be able to, such as when you're stressed or there's a time crunch and you'd normally be forced to make a roll, you can just take a 10.
You're going to already have skill focus, you're going to already have your operative.
Yeah, that base number is going to be high enough for you to not have to roll.
At 11th level, you're going to get Specialization Power, which is a very strong ability that's associated with your specialization that you chose at level 1.
This has been vague. Let's give examples now. The first example we have is Daredevil. That's this guy. Your associated skills are acrobatics and athletics. You can also attempt an acrobatics check to make a trick attack. Your specialization exploit is versatile movement. Your specialization power is terrain attack. At 11th level, when you and a foe are both balancing, climbing, flying, or swimming, you automatically succeed at any bluff check required to make a trick attack against that foe. That's interesting. That seems pretty specific. I don't think I'd take that in most situations or most campaigns.
No. I think it's very specific.
Yeah.
And I think that it's not the strongest one, but Hacker is pretty good, which is our next example that I chose.
Let's go over Hacker.
The associated skills are computer and engineering. You can attempt a computer's check with a +4 bonus to make a trick attack to create a computerized distraction. You can't use this option if stripped of all computerized gear in an area with no computers. Duh. Oh, I don't have any sort of computerized mechanisms. I can't use the computer.
You can't? No, you can though, because the files are in the computer.
They're in the computer.
Yeah, so you just get the files and then...
They're in the computer?
Your specialization exploit is going to be Elusive Hacker. At 11th level, when you exceed a DC of a computer's or engineer check to disable a device or computer system by 5 or more, you can instead take control of the device or system. For every 5 in which you exceed the DC, you can typically make the device or system perform 1 task at the GM's discretion. Once the device or system has done what you have commanded, you choose whether the device deactivates or returns to normal. If you're going to be the hacker operative, this is like right down your alley.
Yeah. I also like how it gives the GM discretion. If you're gonna hack into a camera system and you exceed the DC by 5, your one thing can't be the cameras see me going to this other location. Like, it just doesn't make sense, you know? Being given veto power for this ability specifically in the text is really important.
Yeah, and I mean, there's ways of going about it. Like, if you're looking at a computer system, or a camera system, sorry, you can just be like, loop the last 40 seconds.
Yeah, that's way, way more believable. Before you pick one, read the whole thing all the way through. Figure out if your character is going to be able to be put in those situations, and then decide what you're going to play.
Well, and that's why working with your GM is very important.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you're working with your GM, your GM's like, no, the whole world's just flat. You're like, well, I'm not going to choose Daredevil. If a player comes to me and says, hey, look, this is the kind of character I want to play,
The world changes.
the world will give the player the opportunity to be in those situations. I may watch you for a few sessions and say, oh, they're trying to always do this, I'm going to make that more of a visible thing. But coming out and talking to your GM from the very beginning is really important.
It also it's just the difference between, like, there is a catwalk here or there is not a catwalk here. Like, it's a detail that you would not necessarily think about unless you know one of your players is the Daredevil guy who wants the catwalk so he can go up there and balance on the thing, and if people try to come after him, he can mess them up. And if you are a GM, prompt that from your players so that you can make a more entertaining world for them.
Absolutely.
Dang, GM tips from QueueTimes. That should have been a video in and of itself.
Next is Trick Attack, which is AKA Sneak Attack. It's done very, very differently. I kind of super dig how they do it. At first level, you get your first tier of Trick Attack, which is 1d4 of damage. But you can do it anytime you make one of the following: bluff, intimidate, or stealth check, or a check associated with your specialization. The DC is equal to 20 plus your target's challenge rating. So you're able to turn around and make this check in any situation to try and get your trick attack in. You start at 1d4 at first, then it goes up to 1d8 at third, then it goes up to 3d8 at 5th, and then every 2 levels thereafter it increases by 1d8.
Nice. That's really good. It's interesting too because it's like messing with your minimum damage and maximum damage in different ways. 1d4, then 1d8, then 3d8. So that's like a big buff to your minimum damage. And then every 2 levels thereafter it increases maximum and minimum damage. I've never seen a curve like that. At second level, you're gonna get evasion. It's the same as every other version of evasion in every other RPG. It's just if you make a reflex save and then you succeed, you're gonna take half damage, you don't take any damage.
Plain Jane, but I think it's very important to be a part of this.
It's not creative in a sense, but it is also a part of the fantasy, and it's really important to have, and so good on you for keeping it.
Yep. Also at second level, you're going to get the Operative Exploit, which is basically a rogue feat. Not only are you going to get one at second level, but you're going to get one every even level, so you're going to have a plethora of choices. The first one is going to be Field Treatment. You can take 1 minute to tend your wounds and spend 1 resolve point to recover a number of hit points equal to 3 times your operative level. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, at any level, especially like level 1, 3 hit points.
For somebody with 6 health, nice. Cool, yeah.
Exactly.
Next is Jack of all trades. You've learned how to handle any situation. You can use all skills untrained, and you double your operative's edge bonus when using a skill in which you have no ranks. Skill monkey. If you're gonna lean into the skill monkey thing and the trick attack thing,
that means you can focus on 8 plus your intelligence modifier abilities, and then just double your operative level.
yeah.
On
You don't have to try and spread stuff around if you want to cover all the bases. Just let that do it for you.
Exactly. At third level, you're going to get quick movement, which means if you aren't wearing armor or wearing light armor, you increase your movement speed by 10. This also
Dang.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, at third level.
Is that for every movement type? Like if I have a jetpack or something and I'm... It doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
It's probably land speed.
Yeah. You get an additional 10 feet movement speed at 9th and 15th level.
Oh. That's like almost monkey.
Skill monkey.
That's not what I meant, but
If you wanted to use Daredevil, like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna climb this, I'm gonna go over here. You've got the movement speed
Yeah.
to be able to do these like out of the like norm.
Go around something instead of straight to something and still get there in one round.
Exactly. Because you're getting 30 extra feet at level 15. Mind you, again, it's either light armored or less.
Yeah.
And you can't be encumbered. If you're playing by the encumbered rules, which I don't,
At 3rd level,
guess what?
you get...
Weapon specialization. At 4th level, you're going to get debilitating strike.
It's called debilitating trick.
Yes.
Because you said debilitating.
Strike. Which means anytime you take a trick attack and you hit your foe, you're going to make them flat-footed all the way until the end of your next turn.
Or off target.
Yes.
Uncanny agility gives you a lot of First of all, you're immune to the flat-footed condition, and enemies don't get any bonuses against you if you're being flanked by them.
I think it helps you when you get as an operative and you're being like flanked, which is one of the worst positions for a roguelike character to be in. Hey, when you do get stuck in these effed up positions, you good.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you're not good. You're not good by any means. You're just not instantly dead. There's a difference between those two things. Can you get out by yourself? Well, but you can be saved. You're not a lost cause.
Yeah.
I mean, personality-wise, you're still a lost cause. Your character, not you.
fucked.
I'm not being mean. I'm not being mean. It's your character. Your character's a jerk. Let's just face facts. You're also not affected by covering fire or haraying fire. That's a lot of stuff that you just like gain immunity to.
At level 7 too. Now the next two are pretty easy. At 8th level you're going to get triple attack, which means anytime you take a full round action or full action to make an attack instead of 2 attacks, you're going to be able to do 3 attacks.
That's a lot more than 2 attacks.
It's exactly 13th level you're going to get quad attack, which means guess what? 4 attacks instead of 2.
That's a lot more than 3 attacks.
It's exactly.
Get wrecked. At level 17, you get double debilitation. This is going to allow you to apply 2 of your debilitating trick effects whenever you land a debilitating trick. And then if you augment that feature as your class progresses, you can just get a variety more options and a variety more combinations. And I think that's really interesting and versatile and fun.
At 20th level, you're going to get Supreme Operative. When you attempt a skill check with your specialization associated skills, you can roll twice and take the higher result. Once per day as a move action, you can temporarily trade out one of your operative exploits for another operative exploit requiring the same level or lower. This trade lasts 24 hours. If the exploit you trade away is a prerequisite for any of your other abilities, you lose all abilities that require this as a prerequisite for the duration.
This is an interesting take on a level 20. It's not making you stronger necessarily. It's not giving you an ultimate tool to deal with a situation in like the most effective way possible, like super damage, super crowd control, super healing or something like that. It's literally just giving you ultimate version of versatility, which is super interesting. I'm 30% like, wow, that's super good. And I think it would be really fun in a game. On the other hand, I'm thinking, this makes no sense at all. Because through these 20 levels, I've built this character to do this stuff. And now you're going to give me the option to undo that work. But like I did that
temporarily.
work. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's permanent. And that's not the point. The point is that like, even temporarily, like all the things that I have like fit together into a character that I know how to use. And then you're going to like have me get rid of something that I know how to use and replace it with something that I don't. Like I, as a person, am probably just gonna forget that I did that and use the stuff that I know. Yeah. So I mean, just for me specifically, I don't think this is something that I'm in any way interested in. I'm not saying it's weak, I'm not saying it's boring, I'm just saying it doesn't fit me as a person.
So there's a couple things. One, I think the mechanic does something similar, where the fact is that you've chosen to have an AI or a robot run around, and then at a certain level you get the option to have both, and then split up your like points to use it on both. Now you can have one or the other, or you can have both, and so that kind of exists. How I kind of treat this level is it's not necessarily making the pool deeper, it's making the pool wider. Yeah. You know, you've got a much wider array of choices in which you can choose from, but it's not making them any better. It's just saying, like, I think the best situation
It's
is
not
is
making
that,
you better as a character, it's making you better in more situations.
Yes, that's
because you can choose the things to tailor fit your character
Yeah,
to the
it's not making the
situation.
individual skill better. When you get so hyper-focused as a character, specifically, like if you're really focusing this one thing,
Yep.
If you're in a situation where you can't use it, like you're the hacker, right? And you're like, crap, we're on a location, we're on
Yeah.
a plant planet.
Yeah.
I'm useless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, okay, there's something to be said for that, but at the same time, you can trade out one of your operative exploits. It's not like a one-to-one
Yeah, yeah,
trade.
yeah, yeah.
It's literally 1-for-1.
I just think that like having something that's useful is
Sure.
better than having nothing that's
That's definitely true.
If you were gonna rate this between the mechanic
Yep.
and the mystic,
Mechanic being 1, Mystic being 10. I'd say this is a 6.5.
okay, all right.
It maybe a 7. I'd maybe give it a 7.
Well, why don't you tell us what you think of the capstone for the operative down
Yeah.
in the comments.
Yeah.
While you're down there, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell icon so you can get notifications. It, like, I don't know how to express this, but it helps us so much. Like, getting...
I do know how to express this.
Okay.
Our sub number goes up.
Yes, yes.
That's really useful.
Well, that's the sub, but the notifications is also extremely helpful.
Yeah.
So that...
It also, and then you click the notification.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you watch them.
Yeah, and then you watch the video all the way through to the very end, and then you rewatch it a couple times, so that our retention rate for viewers is over 100%. I actually want to see if that's a thing that can happen.
Having a retention rate higher than
over
100.
100%. Yeah, for like.
Oh,
It's probably if you because watch it over. Like think of music videos. The retention rate is probably just a solid bar with like one dip at the end.
I don't know.
This
but,
is a dumb thing to
but
include in this video.
You can talk to Krug about this on Twitter, or you can talk to myself on Twitter. You can talk to me there at IndigoQT.
You can talk to me on Twitter at QueueTimes. You can also talk to both of us at these social media things down here. We've been GameGorgon. We will see you guys
Later.
Nope.
No? We won't see them later?
Nope.
You'll see us later, technically.
Yep.